Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of The Growth Switch with me, Cyril. Remember, if you've missed out on any insights from any of the previous episodes in this season or the previous season, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Growth Switch with Cyril, and you can go to my personal website, cyrilmcleod.com, and you can find the insights there under the Growth Switch tab. In this episode, we'll be speaking about attitude and the power of attitude. I'm sure you've seen those posts. Sometimes some people call them corny and all those other words, where they're adding up all those letters and they all add up to 100. Where A is 1 and D is 4 and E is 5, indicating basically the alphabet and the number of alphabets there are, and it equates to 100, which is 100%. And it's true. I mean, attitude determines, where it is that you go. And if you bring 100% attitude, the right attitude that is, you are most likely to get to where you need to. So in this episode, we'll be just speaking some insights, on, the importance of attitude, what are some things that can go wrong with bad attitude, and if you do have bad attitude, how do you correct that to get back on the path of having a much better attitude that will help you in terms of tackling your challenges in life and help you thrive actually as you walk through this journey of life. Now, I mean, what is attitude actually? I mean, attitude is basically your outlook on things in life. You might have a negative attitude on life and other things. You might think, I'm not good, so I'm not going to achieve much, or I don't want to do any work. So you always like negative, like attitude-wise, Or you can have a positive attitude where you basically saying, oh, okay, I want to thrive, I want to succeed, I'm willing to tackle challenges, I'm willing to try new things, I'm willing to work, and get to where I need to, and you can see that, if you have a negative attitude, the outcomes are not so great. But if you have a positive one, then you live a much more fulfilled life. Now, what can go wrong with the negative attitude, right? I mean, you have low morale, meaning your productivity is probably low, be it in the workplace or at home. At home, it's possible that you have some work to do from a home perspective, like some chores or whatever, or some errands, and you choose not to do them because you're like, whatever, I'm not going to do this. At work, you've got a job to do and you choose to not do it, because of your negative attitude. You make lots of mistakes even if you have a negative attitude because you don't care, right? So you make lots of mistakes, most of which would have been avoided, if you were switched on and you had the right attitude. So if we look at, if you find yourself in that situation, what are some of the things that you can do to effectively get on the path back to the right attitude that will get you where you need to get, where you need to go as part of your journey? Now, first thing, right, you need to take responsibility, right? Take responsibility for your attitude. It's your attitude. You can't say, oh, I'm feeling like this because so and so did that to me, or I'm feeling like this because the economy is not doing great or whatever. Things happen around us, a lot of things happen around us, but we control how we respond to those, right? So your attitude is 100% you, just like you can add all those other letters and you get 100. And then number two, we need to then understand and evaluate basically your desire to change, right? So you need to have a desire to change. Okay, so this is how I feel right now. I'm making lots of mistakes because I don't care, but I actually want to be on the right path and get towards the better attitude, right? And once you've had your desire to change, then you need to change. So it starts by changing your thoughts. Actually, a lot of what has to do with attitude is all up here in your mind, right? And it's all about starting to think positively about things, right? And effectively what you find is what you think then becomes what you do, or rather has a huge effect on what you do. Because if you think about it, before you do anything, you think about doing it first. If I'm going to brush my teeth, I have to think, okay, no, I need to go brush my teeth. If I need to go buy bread. I'm thinking, oh, I need bread, I need to go buy bread. So if you're constantly thinking positive things, you can see how naturally that leads to you, having a much more positive outlook on life and a much more positive attitude, right? And then also another thing to add there is making sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive people, right? People who've got a positive attitude, because it rubs off, right? If you always, hang around people who are always negative and all they see is negativity, it just tends to drain you down and weigh you down, and then you end up, feeling that way yourself, right? And that is not where you want to be. So if you implement these, in your life, you start to see the necessary changes that take you towards having a much better attitude, right? No one, trust me, no one wants to be around anyone with a negative attitude, right? It doesn't rub off the right way. So it's good that if you are someone who has a negative attitude, you start to take the corrective measures towards resolving it. And it all has to do with you. No one else but you can make those changes, right? I can maybe from my perspective advise you, okay, do this, do that. But if you don't take responsibility and you don't want to do it, you will not do it, and you then likelihood is you will not change. So it's important that you are in control of your attitude. I'm sure you've heard the saying that attitude determines your altitude. So altitude, how far you can go, and that is true, right? So we'll leave it at this for this episode. Remember, we're on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can follow us there. We also post some other material in between these videos. We also have one-on-one mentoring and coaching sessions, where you can get a one-on-one tailored experience for your journey. And you can contact us on the growth switch at cyrilmcdewar.com for that, and we're able to share more details on how we can move forward on that front. And yeah, we'll leave it at this. Remember, attitude determines your altitude. It's all in your control. So make sure you are on the path to correcting your attitude, and you will see positive changes in your life.